Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How are we today? Hope you are all good, obviously. And today we are getting started right back to where we left off. If you missed the last few episodes, don't worry. You haven't missed much, except for, the whole reason as why I'm wearing all this gear. So yes, you've missed quite a lot. I'd recommend you go check those episodes out before coming back and watching this. But you better come back, or else. Anyways, today, if you have missed the last few episodes, let me quickly give you a rundown. I'm wearing chainmail armor because I failed to complete a challenge. This series that I'm currently doing will consist of a couple challenges. This is one of the first ones that I've done, and yes, I did fail it, which resulted in me having Curse of Vanishing and Curse of Binding. I am currently in the process of hopefully finishing the challenge by this episode, which will consist of a desert well, a pyramid, a ruined portal, this tower, and another jungle temple right here. The whole point of the challenge is having this tower surrounded by these four structures with something from a deep dark at the top of this. So, let's get started with working on the interior of this place, because the exterior is completely finished. I managed to get it all done between, well, not actually even between, I did it all in last episode. So let's climb up here and we can get started. Mostly nice and simple. So the way I've done this is I have taken a bunch of photos of different angles. Hopefully they're enough. I noticed when I did the room portal I could have taken maybe an extra photo that I didn't. But it's all fine. These are going to be as accurate as possible, but not perfect. I do want to emphasize that. So, let us get started on filling in this section. If you've never seen a desert temple, you will obviously know that this is the section that you can fall through, and then you land here, and then there's the big pattern. The suspicious sand section is over there, and all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get started on that then. While I'm doing this, you're probably wondering how it is that I get these challenges to do. So, the way I do these challenges is I send a message out to my group chat. Let me actually jump down here. It'll be a bit easier to build down here. I send a message out to my group chat or just my immediate friends and stuff like that and ask them to give me a challenge. I make sure that they know nothing of the series and they have never seen an episode of it yet when they give me this challenge. That way I know that their idea of a challenge is not influenced by the fact that I have, say, iron armor or diamond armor or netherite or whatever. So they don't give me an extremely hard challenge because I have netherite, or a super easy challenge because I have iron. They just give me a challenge without knowing necessarily what kind of gear I have. Can I please sleep? Brother. Here we go. It should not have been that difficult. Anyways, back to building. So yes, I just make sure that they know nothing of the series, and then they give me a challenge of their choice, whatever they like. You're liking your new home? You didn't even drop anything. You useless money. Here's a solid question for anyone watching this. Have you ever turned one of these into a base? They actually make for a heck of a nice base. I turned one of these into a base back in, I don't know, 2020 or something like that? Or somewhere around there. It was actually a heck of a nice base. Bed and stuff was up there. I made a ladder system through the middle. Actually, I don't even think a ladder system. I think it was a spiral staircase, and then it was a ladder system, which I then broke a hole through there so I could get to the top properly. But yeah, no, makes for a heck of a nice base, and you do like smelting and stuff along here, your chests along here, the pattern in the middle, you put a crafting table in the center, and stuff like that. Very nice base. That was barely English what I just said anyways, so we'll just move swiftly on from that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just placing blocks and hoping. Yeah, that looks fine. I don't do terraforming ever, in case you couldn't tell. I'm really bad at some of the technically type stuff in this game. So you give me like redstone and terraforming, I'm going to crumble under pressure. I don't know what I'm doing. I do want to just point out for the section over here where it's supposed to have the suspicious sand, obviously I can't still touch or move suspicious sand in any way, shape or form. So I'm just going to have this whole section hollowed out, and then there's like a pattern at the bottom, and I'll do that pattern again down there, and yeah, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna dig a hole under this section for like the center TNT area and stuff like that. I'll probably still cover it up. I'll see what I do. I don't know. I do want some way that it can still be visible that it's there. That's in a weird way is going to be like a museum piece, actually. Actually, that's something I should do at some point. I have a big like collecting thing. I don't know why. I love just collecting things. I don't know. Maybe I'm sure there's people out there that get what I'm saying. I just enjoy collecting things. Like, you give me a rock and I will collect hundreds of them easily, right? So anything that I have an excuse that I can collect, I will. I built an entire museum a while back that I absolutely loved, and it took forever to do because I did as a main piece of the museum. The museum I used concept the English the like concept image, I guess you could call it, that I was using was the Natural Science and History Museum, or whatever it's called. I can't think of the exact name of it. I think that's what it's called. You know, the big one that's got like the giant dinosaur skeleton or whatever hanging from the roof. Yeah, that one. I used that as like my reference image. That's the word. So that was my like reference that I was working off of, and the main like image that I found of it was like this, was that exact room with the dinosaur, and it has like a hallway through it, and on the walls is like archways and stuff. So I thought when building mine, I was like, wouldn't that be cool if I did like archway, 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 archway essentially, and in each archway there's a set of armor. So I did exactly that, and each archway had a set of netherite armor with a diamond trim on it, and each trim was a different trim. So I did one for all, whatever it is, 16 different trims or something like that. I think it's 16. I've since gone back and had to update it because of the 2 new ones that got added, obviously. But yeah, that was something. So yeah, I have a very big like love of collecting things, especially in Minecraft. It is so much fun to run around this game and collect a bunch of stuff. So I've always been looking, like, my museum is nice and all, but it looks empty, right? So this could be like a cool like addition to the museum if I ever get around to updating it again. I just find a nice section that I can chuck these in. At one point I actually wanted to do a bit to the museum where it was taking you through like all the different years of the game. So as the game got updated and stuff, it would be, you know, the different blocks that got added or the different features and stuff. But I realized that would be a little difficult because some updates, for example, the update that adds spectator mode, what do I do for that, you know? Like, hey, I could build a little ghost, I guess, but like, really? Or a player head in mid-air or something? But like, I really couldn't figure out what I would do for it. Ugh. This is the problem with playing with a keyboard the way I do. My E, so like, this is where you realize just how weird my controls are for this keyboard that I'm using. So to walk around is normal, it's ASWD, whatever, but then to place blocks, tracking is Q. And then my perspectives key, so to do this, is R instead of F5, so I don't have to stretch across my keyboard to reach it. And then if I want to crouch, it's my right click, so this is right click, and then, what is my first click? Oh, that's right, sprinting. So my mouse pretty much just moves my head, it allows me to sprint, and it allows me to crouch, that's it. The reason I swapped the crouching key was because my finger got tired after a while, because I'd go down to the deep dark so often, and my finger just got tired of like having to hold down that key. So I just like swapped it to like my right finger, so I can just ding 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 ding. And I also don't get sticky keys because of this now, because it's not on my keyboard, it's my mouse, so perfect. Anyway, that's the pattern finished. Now we need the smooth stuff, which goes, I believe, diagonally off of this. I did take these photos from a very bad angle, to be fair, so that's not ideal, but we work with what we have. And it is getting nighttime. I'm glad I looked up. Actually, being in here, you cannot tell how dark it is. I'm also out of food. Let me in then. Help me, please. Oh, come on. I can at least have a good meal before bed. There we go. Cool. Now I want to do the walls and stuff. Obviously need to now get done. You know, I'm gonna move my bed. I threw it here like last episode because I was getting chased out of here. Yeah, so again, if you've missed last episode, this tower is a mob spawner and a half, and I didn't know that. I've never come across one of these that spawns so many mobs. I don't know if a naturally occurring one just like doesn't allow mobs to spawn. Where's the entrance into this thing? Yeah, I don't know if naturally occurring ones just prevent mobs from spawning other than pillagers, and maybe that's why. But yeah, this room has no windows in it, so it just is constant. Look how dark this gets. These corners and stuff were clearly at 0, so a bunch of mobs are just spawning in here. What is this looking like? Not the side I want to be on. Oh, yes. Oh, from above, that looks so good. Whee! Oh, I actually nearly landed on my chest. That would have been so I nearly died. That would not have been funny, actually. Oh, bugger. I think, okay, so what I was saying earlier is I was going to dig this out and put the tunnel underneath, but I actually might not. I might just leave it like this. I think it's better if I just leave it like this instead of having the underneath section. It seems a bit pointless. So yeah, I want to hollow this section out, I want to put the pattern, like that pattern at the bottom. It's like 3 or so blocks down. Smoothen out these walls, create the pillar section that should be here. Okay, I'm going to put a torch in here because it got a lot darker than I thought it did. Okay, I've already put a torch in here, good. Cool, I don't actually know how these staircases go because they're supposed to like start here and then they twist and go up. I actually don't know. This feels a lot taller than it should be. I'm sure it's fine. Anywho, that is pretty much how it should look, I guess. Now we need this stuff and it's this stuff. And now, if they decided to not update the game, which obviously they did, this would be fine. I'd be able to leave it like this and be done. This entrance is not right. There is no way that's how it should look. Hang on. Do I got a different angle? No, that is... That is what it's supposed to look like, I guess. Again, I didn't get a good angle of a photo. That is definitely what it's supposed to look like, though. I don't like it. It doesn't look right. But, sure. Whatever. Cool. That is that all done. So now, we can do this corner here. And just like that, we are finished, ladies and gentlemen. So you've already seen all of this. Obviously, this is all done. But this is now finished. If we drop down... done the nice patterns throughout. I don't know what's on this wall, so I just copied the pattern through. Just made sense. But yeah, this is pretty much finished. I still don't like this entrance. It still doesn't look right, but everything else, I would say, looks good. I haven't exactly been through these things enough, but I did live in one for a little while, so, you know, I should know how this looks, right? Still don't like this entrance. Still looks weird. Where did I put my bed? Okay, I picked it up and moved it. Good. I'm gonna chuck all of this back in this chest. Yes, I know I have a lot of leftovers, but the reason for that is because it was kind of hard to tell where the desert temple stopped and where naturally occurring sandstone started because this thing was so submerged in sand. So I kind of just took everything from the hillside to the actual stuff. Oh, right, I was never finished this. I need to come back and do those. Okay. It's so weird walking up to the structures and just seeing like 4 different structures sitting here. I'm going to do the stairs in here. We're going to call it an episode. And next episode I'll be free of all this gear and stuff. And then we will get the jungle temple finished. I promise you that. And this challenge will be done. And then the next video, so episode 10, we will finish off the house, or at least as much of it as possible. And then from there on, we can go back to more challenges. Sound good? Good. I'm gonna do the best of this that I can really hope I can figure out how these are supposed to look. Is there an image? Maybe I can find them on Google or something. Well, that was an absolute waste of time. I've been standing here for like 20 minutes and couldn't find anything. I'm just gonna build these as best as I can. So, yeah, like, I literally just sat on Google for like 20 minutes trying to find something worthwhile. I know there's stairs in this, but it's like, how does... Okay, wonderful. Where are the slabs that I grabbed? I hate this game so much sometimes. Why do I... Well, actually, I shouldn't hate the game for this. This was my own stupidity. I should have figured that I'd be dumb. And I just put a slab there. Yeah, it's the most janky staircase ever, but it works. So don't judge it. I'm kidding. Judge it as hard as you want. This looks awful. This is temporary until I actually find how to make the correct things. This is... Yeah, this is what we're working with. I don't think Minecraft Bedrock has a template world seed that I can just pull up that has a jungle that has a desert template, does it? Give me a second. Nope. Couldn't find one. None at all. So that's unfortunate. So we're stuck with this thing, as awful as it looks. And then you just... Yes! You too, child. I'll go full Anakin on you, I swear. Why? Where are you spawning from? This place should be lit up. It's the first floor. Somehow it's dark enough on that floor. No, you're not spawning from first floor, though. Oh, but they're climbing through the window, I see. Yes. Shoot your friend. Oh, they're also protected. There we go. Can I climb and shield at the same time? Yes, I can. Dead. Good. Give me my stuff back. Oh, my stuff, my... Okay. I'm gonna end the episode here. And you're still... Where are you spawning from? There's gotta be a cave system under me. It's not just... Nah. I'm going to sleep, mate. This just no. Go away. I'll beat you up with his bone. I'll kill you with his bone. I swear I still hear him. Whatever. I thought my bed was a spider for a sec. Smart. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode where I don't have to wear this hellish armor anymore. This stuff. Yeah. No, I almost shouldn't have put it back on. The episode's pretty much finished. I could have just left it off. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. I've had enough of this.